Without any further ado, we always love to start our show with a launch. And this time, this happened to be the night of the holiday celebration that we had at Griffith Observatory. So our celebration that evening began with this incredible...
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
How many of you saw
5,
this real time
4,
on the internet
3,
or anywhere else?
2,
How many of you haven't
1,
seen this yet?
0. We have liftoff of Falcon 9.
The Falcon 9 is SpaceX's rocket that they've had great success with, taking payloads to the International Space Station.
It's 11 satellites it's going to launch.
Wow. So,
These are built in Hawthorne, California.
yeah, the local boys and girls.
Designed by Elon Musk, also famous for the Tesla Solar City.
In Solar City. So it was a beautiful launch, but the launch really was only half the story because for quite some time now, SpaceX and the Falcon 9 has been trying to return that first stage so it can be reused, return it back and have it land vertically on this X marks the spot. And if you've seen some of the previous attempts on a barge, you know they didn't go too well. Many things blowing up hither and yon. But this explains what they were trying to do.
What's happening with the first stage?
This is about
It's
10
like
minutes
launching a
after the
pencil.
launch.
Yeah, about
Over
10
the
minutes
Empire
after the launch.
State Building. Having it reverse, come back down.
Oh, he says it's
and
a
land
pencil.
on a shoebox on the ground in a windstorm. That's what's
Wind is
happening.
the critical part.
Yeah, and I don't think I could throw a pencil over the Empire State
It's
Building and
insane
catch a
thing
That's the
to
scale,
And the crazy
pencil
thing is
to the
we're like
Empire State
30
Building.
seconds away from this getting
from this
nuts.
crazy maneuver.
This extremely energetic room is a hush.
The noise you hear in the background is real time for them. They've spotted the returning booster, and there it is.
That is a view from the landing pad.
That is that first stage
Coming
coming
back.
back down to land at Cape Canaveral. History in the making, guys.
And
Yay!
no explosion. That's completely insane. I'm sorry.
So as you see, they're very happy.
This is in Hawthorne
Yeah.
at their factory.
Yeah, but is it usable? Can you use that again?
Sure
Yes.
can.
Yes, you can. This whole, well, let me get the chair a little bit longer.
Yeah, and that's not a small rocket. It's very, very big.
So this whole idea of reusability, I'll come back to because that's the key. It changes everything. It changes the cost of access to space tremendously, and this has been a holy grail for a long time. Here was another view from the helicopter of the landing, a better view. No screaming sounds. Right where it was supposed to land. This is a shot, a time lapse of the launch and the return of the booster. So you get both trajectories at the same time. And obviously it was a huge success. I started mentioning reusability because all of our space efforts to go on to Mars, to colonize space, all of the dreams that maybe some of us might have had in the past of space exploration and becoming a spacefaring people, really hinge on this issue of cost to launch into space. So it's a huge, huge change.
Well, it's sort of like you wouldn't fly to London and then throw away the airliner you got to London and build a new one and then fly back home in a different one. That's what we're doing to get to space.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
One other thing about this launch, too, remember the last time they tried to launch, which was a cargo to the International Space Station back in June, the rocket actually exploded. And in the meantime, they analyzed what went wrong with that, and they actually even evolved the design. So this rocket is longer than the older Falcon 9s,
Yeah.
and used super cooled liquid oxygen. It was like 100 degrees cooler or something than had previously been used, and
Yeah.
to get more efficiency so they could pull off this return.
If you saw the ones on the barge, you know, well, the barge is in the ocean kind of going like this. So they tried it on land. A couple of weeks earlier, Jeff Bezos, Blue Origins, had a suborbital launch and return to the pad. So and there was kind of a snarky tweet exchange after that. So sure enough, Jeff Bezos says, "Congrats, SpaceX, on landing Falcon suborbital booster stage." Suborbital, he mentions. "Welcome to the club," which got a whole lot of responses like, "Haha, that's funny. You think you're actually in the same level as Elon Musk." Sorry, Jeff. The new club delivers payloads.
Yeah, and all 11 were delivered.
Yeah, SpaceX is a real operating launch company. Blue Origins is testing a circus ride. Anyway, there are dozens upon dozens, hundreds of such things, and you can go read them yourself, but that just gives a little bit of a flavor of the Jeff Bezos versus Elon Musk issue. So here it is the next morning, looking beautiful. And Tony, do you want to say anything about this or the?
Just that the rocket will be studied, and I guess I've heard that it will be fired up again, not allowed to fly again, but they will fire it again to make sure it works well. And then whatever changes need to be made will be incorporated in from here on out.
I think they don't want to launch it again because it's an historic artifact
Yeah,
at this point.
that's right.
But it will be fired to make sure that it can.
Yeah, they're going to put it to a new launch pad that they have that they want to test the clamps to make sure it's capable of holding down a Falcon under full thrust. So they're going to bring these engines up to full thrust again, but not let it launch. So that'll be interesting.
That I'd like to see. And here it is in the hangar. The engines.
See the paint scorched.
Yeah.
A little bit, but.
So very exciting for California, since it's our local team.